What's going on, people? It's the Bear here once again. And I just watched Fat Gamer 7600's video. Um, Check him out, subscribe to him, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He gave me it was a good point that he made. And I just wanted to make a video about it. About Microsoft and their next console, the Scorpio. Microsoft isn't really in competition with Sony. They are in competition with Steam. And the reason why me and Fat think that same way, which was a great idea, a great point that Fat made, is because Microsoft, on day one, their games come on two devices, like I made the last video, two devices. Okay, it comes on the Xbox One and PC, but the better version of the game is on PC. And, Microsoft, see, Sony ain't doing what Microsoft is doing. That's why I think the PlayStation, now I'm not speaking as a fanboy or none of that. Y'all already know how I feel about fanboys. I don't like them. I don't care if you're Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. I don't like fanboys, okay? But I'm going to say this. With Sony doing exclusives for the PlayStation 4, okay? You get, to me, the better version of a game on consoles, which Sony is doing. Because Sony is making exclusives for their console, they are not doing it for the PC. That's what Microsoft is doing. So, what Fat was basically saying was that, because Microsoft is going PC this and exclusives that or whatever, the competition isn't Sony. As a matter of fact, in the years to come, I think that Microsoft is basically going to focus more on their PC stuff because, PC is Microsoft's thing, okay? The Scorpio is going to be the last console to Microsoft. Then they're going to focus all the way on PC. That's what I believe, and that's what Fat believes. He made an excellent point. Like I said, this is only the last time he's saying that, but he made an excellent point, And I think that's where Microsoft is basically going. Now, let's talk about E3. E3 2017. Microsoft has a lot to prove. Because you took L's on exclusives. Your games, whatever, exclusives. You took L's left to right. You got this Xbox Game Pass thing, this pass, whatever you call it. Okay? It's mostly, I see that mostly being more for Xbox 360 than Xbox One games. Because it's only $10 a month. Expect a lot of Xbox 360 games more than Xbox One games. Trust and believe. You might see a few little here and there or whatever, but come on. They have to get some kind of way for people to play Xbox 360 games. Forget all that backwards compatibility crap, you know what I'm saying? They had to get some kind of way to get these Xbox 360 games. And another thing about that, GameStop don't like that because now they can't sell their Xbox 360 games. And GameStop, is all about selling those used games. So the Xbox Game Pass, or whatever you want to call it, I guess that's what it's called, the Xbox Game Pass, is a super threat to GameStop when it comes to trying to push out the old-ass Xbox 360 games. I just want to get that out there. So, so let me get back on here in this E3 again. Let me tell you something. Something Microsoft has to do in order to wow the fanboys, the fans of people that have the Xbox or whatever, you got to do something at this year's E3. Otherwise, people are going to go and buy a PC. And they're not going to buy your game. They're not going to buy your console. You got to do something at E3 to wow everybody. Because you don't need an Xbox One to play Xbox One games. That is what Phil Spencer and the Microsoft camp has basically told all of its customers. You don't need a PC no more. So at this year's E3, you got to do something that's going to have people, even with the Scorpio. I mean, I'm saying? The Scorpio is basically a PC itself. It's going to be much powerful than the PlayStation 4. And they saying, from what I hear, it might be even more powerful than the PS4 Pro. So you're going PC level with everything. This is the last console, if you even call it a console. I call it more of a PC. But this is the last console that Microsoft is doing. This is the last console they're going to make. So at E3, you have something to prove. Sony doesn't. What's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen with Sony. They're going to announce the PlayStation 5. And that's going to blow everybody's mind back. It's going to be awesome. Microsoft got to do something. And your games, you don't really have any exclusive. You don't have no games really coming out for the first and second quarter. You don't really have any. I don't even know the third and fourth quarter. I don't even know. You had no games for the first and second quarter. So, what are you going to do, Microsoft, at this E3? How are you going to be, even though you're not in competition with Sony, but you do have something to prove to your fans? If you want Microsoft to be ahead of all the competition, Steam, Sony, Nintendo, all that, you got to do something. Because y'all done took L's left to right when it comes to your games being canceled. Scalebound being the main one. Scalebound is a game I would have bought. Let me tell you something. Even though I got a PlayStation 4 and I'm still keeping my PlayStation 4, if you would have came out with Scalebound, I would have bought an Xbox One Slim to play that game. That game looked awesome. And y'all just canceled it over a stupid Twitter beef. Twitter beef. You want to look it up? If you think I'm making this up, look it up for yourself. It was a Twitter beef. From what I've seen and from what I know. IGN even said that. Microsoft, prove something at this year's E3, or you're going to lose a lot of people and they're going to go over to the PC. There's no need to buy an Xbox One if you want to play Xbox One games. You don't need an Xbox One. That's what Microsoft and that's what Phil Spencer and that's what their camp is basically doing. Because they're focusing everything on PC. That's just how they doing right now. So it basically goes to show that Microsoft has no exclusives at all. Halo Wars 2, you can play it on PC. Crackdown 3, you can play it on PC. Sea of Thieves, you can play it on PC. Everything of Microsoft's games, you can play on PC. So Microsoft has no exclusives. Anything upcoming in the future, you can play it on PC. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft, this year's E3, this is it. This is it. Otherwise, you're going to fail in the competition. You're going to fail. Nintendo may even be better than you. And I hate to say that, but That's just how that is. Steam will definitely be better than you. If you don't knock it out the park at this year's E3. Hell, Nintendo consoles is damn near hard to get because they're selling left to right. Ain't nobody buying Xbox Ones. They're buying PlayStation 4s and they're buying Nintendos. And they're buying high-powered PCs. Gaming PCs or whatever the case may be. Ain't nobody buying Xbox Ones. Because what you gonna do? You gonna get an Xbox One to watch Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Sling TV. What you gonna do in the Xbox One? Ain't got no games. This Xbox Game Pass. What you gonna do? Play Xbox 360 games? What you gonna do? I'm just saying. Microsoft got something to prove to everybody. In all the camps. That's all I'm saying, man. Me and Fat think the same way. We think the same way about Microsoft. All right, y'all. This the Bear and I'm out. Peace.